Can you imagine waking up every day, bright and early, to get to work, clean, cook, make lesson plans, set up the environment? Maybe you might have to help assist a child or two with an accident. You got to deal with many social and emotional problems. And you do that for 40 hours a week, maybe more. Yet when you go home, you need help. You might have to apply for some CalFresh, aka food stamps, or some sort of other government assistance. Sadly, that is the reality for many people that work in the early childhood sector. So, I just have a question. If children are our future, then why do we invest so little in the most crucial points in their life? I'm talking about the early childhood years, from birth to the age of 7. Those are some of the most important years for a child's development. It's where their brain is making millions and millions of connections to make sense of the world around them. Some early childhood educators spend more waking hours with a child than the child's own family. And despite being seen as a glorified babysitter, early childhood educators are so much more than that. They spend that time nurturing the child, observes them, helps them develop their social and emotional skills, yet they get paid so little. Almost half of the childhood workforce are paid significantly less than their kindergarten and 8th grade counterparts. So much so that nearly half of those qualify or receive public assistance despite working full time. In this speech, I will be covering the topic of why early childhood educators should earn more money and at least a little more respect. More importantly, I'm here to educate you about the importance of quality education for young children and how early childhood educators do so much for so little in return and why that needs to change. Before I talk about why I believe early childhood educators deserve better pay, I want to talk about the importance of early childhood education and why it matters. Quality early childhood education creates a lifelong passion for learning. It helps children develop social skills. It encourages the development of fine motor and sensory skills. Helps them foster language development and vocabulary. It primes children to be creative. And as we know, creative thinkers become the more successful people out there. Early childhood education equips children to cope with problem solving. I've seen children work out issues together amongst themselves way better than I've ever seen adults do. So preschool is often thought of as mere babysitting, but a growing body of research suggests that when done right, it's so much more than that. An effective early childhood education program can level the playing field, especially for low-income families of minorities relative to their white or wealthier counterparts. So much so that gaps in language comprehension and numeracy can often disappear by the start of kindergarten. And according to at least 2 longitudinal studies, the very best programs can produce effects that reach far beyond those early years, increasing the rates of high school completion and college attendance among participants and reducing the incidences of teenage parenthood, welfare dependence, and arrest. Now that I've given a brief description of why early childhood education matters, I want to talk about why I believe teachers in the field deserve higher pay. According to research done by U.S. News, about half of the early childhood educators in the United States are paid so little that they receive public assistance like food stamps and Medicaid despite working full time. That costs taxpayers around $2 billion a year, and it often costs children valuable learning opportunities. Research shows that teachers who face financial hardships are more likely to have elevated levels of depression, which can make them less engaged with children, and those children tend to struggle more in school. Low pay is also a factor discouraging bright, motivated young adults from teaching children in their early years, which, as research shows, is a very critical time when their brains are most pliable. I want to say that the teachers deserve more pay because they do a lot more than what a job description really entails. Preschool teachers, teachers in early child care do so much more. It's not like grade school where you get a piece of paper and you go along the curriculum like, oh, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, that's what we're doing. No, a lot of it is creative thinking on the fly. It's like, okay, we might have this thing planned, but we see this is where the children are taking it, and instead of dismissing that, we're gonna follow their lead, because children at that young of an age, their interests, if you follow their interests, that's where all the learning opportunities are going to arise from. And that's what a lot of early childhood educators specialize in. That's like the one thing that we really are, that we really have engraved into our brain, is to follow the children's interest. And unlike grade school, where teachers have tons of students, early childhood educators, they do a lot more. They go out to make sure that each child feels welcome, each child is acknowledged, that their family and their culture and everything like that important to them and their family is respected, acknowledged inside the classroom and outside the classroom. The teachers and whoever works in the field, they make sure that they create a very special bond so the children will feel comfortable and will look excited to come and learn. It's not just all fun. Well, it is pretty much all fun and games, but there's very, very big, important reasons for why there's certain activities set up, why the children are playing. I mean, that's a whole different speech about the importance of play, but that's all part of the field, and the teachers just don't get enough respect for it. We wake up every day. We got to be storytellers. We got to be house cleaners. We got to be music makers. We got to be DJs. We got to be back rubbers for nap time. We got to be food handlers, cooks. And then, the other just fun stuff. Sometimes we gotta be animals, or we gotta be silly clowns. There's a lot of things that you'll never see listed because it's about what the children want. And it's about following the children's lead. And not everybody is capable of doing that. And that's why I believe early childhood educators need a little bit more pay. They really do a lot for so little, or at least a little more respect. Next time you see someone that says, oh, I work with young children, don't dismiss them as a regular babysitter, because guaranteed, if you took a spot in if you took their place for a day, it will wear you out. I come home every day from work tired, sore, but content. Thank you for hearing me out.